The little brother wins when it matters. This is take 2 of our intro. This is the NLDS episode. Oh yeah, this is the opposite field outlook. Usually I say that, but I didn't this time.
Jack, I hate you.
I'm Jack. That's Neal. That's Andrew. And I wonder if the recording stops when I move my OBS window. I think that's what happens, so I'm not going to do that again. We're just going to live in split screen. Neal, how are you doing on this fine autumn evening?
That first few days of someone going getting off drugs, and it's one of the most miserable things ever. Yeah, and it's gonna get better if you keep it up, but it's pretty rough right now. Yeah, I'm in that stage right now.
So what were you doing? Are we talking heroin or cocaine or
So,
are we talking hard drugs?
I was doing hardcore baseball, and then it left me. It left my system, and my body's not quite coping without it.
Fans feel when we go on a 14
No,
game
because the Angels
streak.
fans never have
absolutely
hope.
not.
Oh, I had so much hope at the beginning of the season. When we were first in the West.
Yeah. When you're the Angels, I don't know if you should have hope, but
no, you absolutely
even if you did, it was a gradual you could at least see the end was coming, when you're running 10 miles an hour to a wall, it's not as bad as 100. So yeah, I would not to play a victim card, but I think this stings a little bit. So
we'll see. We'll see when the Angels
not doing good.
What
else have I done? I did a lot of homework, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
That sounds like an overall superb weekend. How about you, Andrew?
That sums it up.
That sums it up. Great. I'm just I'm pretty defeated. That feeling when you
just
get
the Dodgers.
Yeah. Thanks. That was a good one. You know that feeling when you get your balls punched and it kind of hurts.
And it kind of
imagine
hurts.
Getting fucking.
What kind of analogy? You know when you get punched and it kind of hurts a little bit?
No, I said the balls.
When you get punched in the balls,
and it hurts.
Is getting punched in the balls not also getting punched?
All right, let me restart that because you guys don't get it. So, my freaking level right now, I feel like I just got punched in the balls, but instead, my balls got ran over by freaking Thomas the Tank Engine, just completely gone, dude.
And just balls are on a train track.
They're gone, dude. They're on one of those train wheels somewhere. Yeah. I feel sick to my stomach. Just the fact that all these we beat this team 15 times this year, quite easily. With Juan Soto on the team, we beat them 9 times, so there shouldn't be any issue with that.
They won when it
just doesn't make sense. And the freaking Padres, because the Dodger curse, they might honestly win the World Series this year because every team the Dodgers lost to.
The Dodger curse?
Yeah, the Dodger.
Mm-hmm.
No,
the Dodger curse.
It's
every
the Dave
year,
Roberts
the Dodgers
big ass curse.
That team wins the World Series. So.
Nah, because this curse dates back a while.
Dates back a while for sure. Dodgers lost to the Cubs. Cubs won the World Series. Dodgers lost to the Braves. Braves won the World Series. What else?
Astros.
Really
Astros,
absolutely. I like that little graphic where it lists
Nationals,
everyone.
yeah.
And then it says 2020, Dodgers won the World Series with a little asterisk next to it. And it's I guess they won the World Series, but it didn't break the curse.
You know what the MLB needs to do?
The curse, that means that it wasn't a legitimate World Series. You know what I mean?
I guess. Fair.
Yeah.
If it was a legitimate World Series, it would have broken the curse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Yeah. The MLB needs to just have it Premier League soccer where the champion of the season is at the regular season. So Dodgers would be, I don't know how many championships they would have, but they'd have a good amount.
That's an awful idea.
Playoffs are stupid, in my opinion.
I do
anyways,
think the MLB should have all the minor league teams be independent and do not all of them necessarily, but have like farm system teams and then have like contending minor league teams and do promotions and relegations.
that would be kind of cool.
And it would
worth a shot.
It would make teams like the eight like for Artie Moreno to make money, he'd have to field a competitive team. He couldn't just be awful because then he'd just get sent down to AA and then that would be the end of the franchise.
Yeah, I want to see the Salt Lake Bees swap with the Angels. I think
absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I already got the Bees hat. I'm already all in on those guys.
You're already on the train, yeah. Might as well.
The Bees.
I can't wait until the Angels are good again in 80 years when I'm an old man, and then people start calling me a bandwagon.
Shut up, you bandwagon. I've been here since the 20s.
I was here since
when this place was founded.
The highs and the lows, yeah.
It's like when someone called me a Chiefs bandwagon fan.
Wasn't that like some Sarah kid?
Yeah.
That doesn't count. We're at Sarah. Everyone was an asshole.
Yeah. That was one of the stranger things I've experienced.
Shut up, you bandwagon. Yeah.
And the Chiefs weren't even good then. Like, that was before we had made it to the playoffs that year. So I was like...
You're not a bandwagon.
Yeah, the team's not even good right now. How am I a bandwagon? Anyway.
You like the A's, you bandwagon?
Let's do the Phillies first, because if we talk about the Dodgers, you guys are just going to be reliving your trauma, and then the episode's going to be silent for the rest of the I get to say the line. Remember the deal we made?
What deal?
What line?
In the text chat. You get to cover the Philly series because I was gonna cover the Philly series. You get to cover the Philly series.
Oh, I don't care what you say. Go for it.
No. I'll say it when it comes up. Anyway, it's time for the Phillies series.
There's nothing you can say that'll make it worse, bro. Like just say what you want.
It won't make it worse by any means.
So let's talk about the Phillies, guys. This is the series I covered last, so I've been keeping up with these guys. Like I predicted, and like a lot of the world predicted, at least deep analysis people in pitching, we were like, okay, they have two good starters, so they won 2 games, and that's all they needed. So like, what's gonna happen when you need the third starter? You need this is 5 games now, so you need 3 wins. So everyone was like, this team ain't gonna be good enough for the Braves. I mean, like, it's just a really good team. So yeah, that just kind of a little brief intro. So we'll get into the series. We got the Braves. They're 101-61, really dominant. Just squeezed into the East as the head and clinch that and say no to the Mets, who collapsed at the end. But maybe winning the East was a bad thing. Who knows? To be put in this spot, because then you wait a week. But besides that, their lineup's really scary, really hot. They literally have like 2 potential Rookie of the Years, and one of them's gonna win it. So this team's stacked. They're insane. The pen's pretty good. Pitching is amazing. The starters. So they had the week off, and they're watching the Phillies take the Cardinals down in 2 games, which no one predicted. So, but it happened.
Yeah,
Wheeler and Nola carried in those games, and the pen somehow didn't collapse. Ignoring the fact that they have like a 4 ERA ish on the year. So yeah, they just somehow did that. That's cool. And basically they just kind of carried because that offense is amazing, and if you can just carry, then the offense goes through. So the Rays were ready to move on to the NLCS, and they were ready to roll over a poo-poo wildcard team that was literally last and like barely got in a few days before the season was over. So yeah, this just basically seems like over already. I mean, everyone kind of called it that way. So let's get into it. Game 1, Fried, he takes the mound, and you'd expect this 2.48 ERA beast on the year to dominate, shove, kind of destroy, no matter who he faces, even though it's the Phillies with a good lineup. 2 outs, JT Realmuto, Bryce Harper, single, and Castellanos single all three of those guys. And next thing you know, it's a 1-0 ball game with all those singles. Bohm singles, drives in another run, 2-0 lead. And now that it's already against them. So that happened. No one saw that one coming. Suarez takes the mound, and he has a 4.58 ERA in the past 7 games. He's just not that hot, you could say. Yeah, he's given up more runs or more hits than innings pitched. So it's not the best option, but they're going with it. Acuna, he comes up and he doubles, proves the offense is alive. Swanson Ks, Riley walks, Olsen walks, bases loaded. Contreras comes out with an out. He grounds into a double play, so that's really disappointing.
That's tough.
The tying run was at second, scoring position, so just couldn't capitalize basically. A lot of singles, I think 1 or 2, and then a lot of walks. But he gets through. So unfortunate. Fried, he goes up next inning. Other than that, he goes clean. Other than just a double. Darno starts the bottom of the second with a solo homer, cuts the deficit into 1 instantly. The Phillies, they respond. They respond with a double, sac fly, and a single to drive in 2 more. Then the Braves load the bases. Ooh, for Darno, he strikes out swinging and strands 3 runners. Bases loaded, opportunity gone again. Insane. That's just, you got to capitalize on that if you're going to win the game.
Absolutely.
Suarez, he's somehow doing his job. He's keeping the Phillies in the game. The Phillies, they tack 2 more runs on in the next inning. In the 5th, Fried is chased out of the game. Their best starter goes 4 2/3 innings before he had to go.
He got fried.
No, what? Everyone's in shock in Atlanta. The Pen, they go out and gets the out. Darno doubles later to drive in 2. Suarez, he comes out of the game, but who expected him to go this deep and actually do this well? So I mean, we'll take it. Is what the Phillies are saying in the Pen. They got out of a jam, and the inning ends. Nothing happens in the 9th when the Braves get. What happens in the 9th though? In the bottom though, the Braves, they get 3 runs. 3-run homer, Matt Olson, 1 swing of the bat, 7-6 game. Now the Braves are like, oh wait, we could do this, and then 2 outs quick right after that. Phillies, they take game 1, barely, but they scrape away. So no one could have predicted this. Obviously towards the end the Braves have hope. They're like, okay, we figured it out at the end. We had a week break. We kind of needed a bit of time to get back into the flow of things. We figured it out at the end. So there's hope for game 2. We go into game 2. The Braves, they go into this one needing the win because you can't go 2-0 into Philly. You need to have a 1-1. You can't play elimination for the rest of the series. So Kyle Wright, he steps up to the occasion. He twirls a 6-inning outing, gives up 2 hits, no runs, 6 Ks, which is very impressive for the Phillies offense he's pitching against. The Braves fans, they love how he's carving up the Phillies lineup, who devastated their ace the day before. Wheeler himself, he's coming off a great start in St. Louis. Really hot. Good choice to send on the mound. However, he gives up 3 runs on 4 hits, 6 innings, 5 Ks, so not a bad outing, but not as good as Wright's. Only 2 hits for his. So both Pens were lights out for the rest of the game. Not much happening after that. Jensen comes in for the save and ties up the series. The Braves are like, okay, we got this one. We got this one. The pitching figured it out. The hitting figured it out. They're going into Philly. The last time the Phillies hosted a playoff game, I was in 2nd grade. This game was long awaited. And it only happened because Manfred wanted to put another wild card in. So you could say it's a tight squeeze, but the fans will take what they can get, This is long awaited. Let's enjoy it. So the other spot allowed the Phillies for a great special experience for the fans. Nola takes the mound for Phillies. It's a great option. Not only been hot with a 3.25 ERA on the year and a below 1 WHIP, it means he had a chance today. So, especially with the fans behind your back today. Only thing that could stop the NL Rookie of the Year, Spencer Strider. Only thing who could stop Nola is Spencer Strider with a 2.67 ERA, 202 strikeouts. That's incredible. And also a below 1 WHIP. He's basically really dominant. He's insane. No one saw it coming. He's even hotter as of late with a 1.71 ERA in the past 7 starts and 64 Ks in 42 innings. So that's insane. What could shake up his start, you might ask? He just came off with a left oblique injury, and October 6th was just when he was called back after he was rehabbing. 1 week before this start that he's doing right now. He may be good, but is he ready enough to pitch? Is he ready enough to start? Does he feel okay? Who knows? The Braves think he is, and so does he. So the Braves throw him out there, and they're met with a little bit of dismay in the third.
The
He's doing
answer
okay,
is
but in the third, he
no.
collapses. He collapses. He gives up 6 runs in one
Jeez.
inning.
Tough for him.
Total
One
collapse for
inning.
the rookie who set the Braves starting pitcher records this year. He was making records for starting pitchers, not just rookies. Marsh, he walks. Stott, he doubles. Marsh is driven in. Schwarber intentionally walked because he's hot. Hoskins homers with both those guys on base. JT Realmuto, he singles. And at this point, Strider is pulled out of the game in the third. It's it's a catastrophe for the Braves, who needed that good start, because you don't want to play off elimination. You need this win away. And Harper homers for 2 runs to really just kind of drop the hammer on the Braves. They're 6 runs out. The Braves, they muster 1 run in the 6th from Michael Harris, and that's all they can pull up the whole game. The Phillies put up 3 more in the 7th, and the game's just officially out of reach at that point for the Braves. Brad Hand comes in to secure the 9-1 victory, and he closes it out, and the Phillies are up 2-1 in front of those fans. Electric environment. Everyone's having a good time. It's playoff baseball in Philly, you know? Everyone's having a great time. It's finally back. What, do you have a question?
Quick news, Yankees game is postponed. It will occur tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
So maybe no episode tomorrow. It should be done
still
by the episode.
Yeah.
If it
4 p.m. you said?
4 p.m. So if it gets rained out, if it gets delayed again, then
It'll be fine.
we'll cancel the episode.
We can still do
We
that.
can still
I
probably do
think we could do it. We'll see. Hopefully that works.
It'll be better too because it'll be like more raw emotion, like stuff that
We'll be
more
fresh
live.
out the Yankees win.
Mm-hmm.
or lost.
Crying.
Or loss. Yeah, so that finishes. Brad Hand closes it up. And the Braves are 1 game away from elimination. This is starting to sound like very familiar, a little bit of PTSD, but yeah, we'll keep moving on. And yeah, the energy was amazing. We're going to go to game 4. The Phillies are looking to close it. They want to punch their ticket to the NLCS. They want to defeat this East Dragon, and they just want to basically make it to their NLCS. And hopefully win the NLCS and be NL champions. So it's a win or go home for the Braves. They have their back against the wall. They summoned Charlie Morton to keep their season alive. They need a good start. Hopefully they can force a game 5, and they can win, and they can keep going, and hopefully repeat.
Charlie Morton's
So
had some
Morton's
insane statistics in elimination games.
He's been amazing in elimination games. Overall in his postseason, he's 7-4, 3.35 ERA. Pretty good. 7-4, decent
games with his 0.35
and 4-0
ERA.
He's doing great in elimination games. He's given up 29 runs in the postseason, pitched 78 innings, and the Phillies, they call for Thor. He's 2-1 in the postseason. He's only pitched like 2 years, and it's been a while. He has a 2.42 ERA. He's pretty dominant in his first outings in the postseason, and basically when he was just starting to come up. The Braves, they got their backs against the wall, and they need the team to come up clutch right here and force game 5, and hopefully put Fried out there in game 5 and just clutch up, win the NLDS 3rd year in a row, and make it to the CS. So the game starts cold in the first, and then it's followed by a 3-run homer from Marsh.
Brandon
to put
Marsh.
The Phillies
my guy. My guy sent the Phillies to the NLCS, bro.
It's insane.
And Noah Syndergaard.
And Noah Syndergaard is out there dealing. He's doing his job.
The Phillies owe the Angels.
They do. They honestly do.
I think they should get a piece of the World Series trophy.
Yeah,
the
they deserve like one of the
sent
flags.
the Phillies to the NLCS.
Yeah, basically just Morton left a curveball over the plate, cut a little too much of the plate, and it costed him. Marsh sends that deep. Next inning, Arcia, he homers to put the Braves on the board. It's a single, solo home run. Going into the bottom of the inning, Realmuto, he hits a ball, goes off the wall. Harris kind of went for it and bounced off the wall. The ball goes flying more towards center, as he was more towards left center. And, Realmuto is chugging along, and he keeps going, and the ball's so far away that Realmuto is by third. He's going home, and he scores with an inside-the-park home run just to extend the lead even more. And one of the fastest catchers in baseball. Keep in mind catchers are slow, but he's pretty fast. He whizzes around the bases, and they're up 4-1.
My man was moving. I didn't even
He was
realize
zooming.
it was an inside the park home run because the throw was barely at second base by the time he was scoring.
He's one of the more catchers out there,
Yeah.
like for a catcher standard, that's fast. So Thor was able to go. He only goes 3 innings, but he did well. Only gave up 1 run on that solo homer. And Olsen, he homers instantly off Andrew Bellotti, I'm pretty sure, and he cuts the deficit in half. It's 4-2. Later in the sixth, Rhys Iglesias on the Braves. He comes in trying to eat up some innings and, try and just keep this game at least close. He comes in with a first and third situation. Only 1 out left to go. It's 2 outs. And Iglesias, he gives up a single to drive in a run, a soft ground ball to third, scores Schwarber, and Harper, he singles to bring in yet another run.
That sounds familiar, Jack.
So that's the thing that happened many times to us. So the Phillies really owe the Angels.
They really do. The Angels helped one team
with their good players to the Phillies and their bad players to the Braves.
Yep.
Castellanos walks, and Iglesias is now terrified to throw anything at least 3 inches and close to the zone. So Castellanos walks. Darnote, later in the inning, he homers to try and revive the team. Maybe remind them that it's not quite over yet. After they got a gut punch last inning, and basically just kind of almost accept the loss at that point. But he doesn't want to do that. He's trying to make sure that the guys know we still got a ball game here. Despite his efforts, the Braves, they go down one after another. The next 9 batters, they all go down. 6 batters K'd out of those 9. They all threw in the towel at that point. The fact that all 9 just went down, and 6 batters K'd. So the Phillies, in front of their fans, in front of the home crowd, they clinch the NLCS for the first time since October 23rd, 2010. Wow. And Phillies, they're headed to the NLCS. Last time they did this, I was in first grade, so that's pretty cool. A little debrief. They're going in. They're the underdogs. They're 87-75, and they just slayed the Dragon of the NL East. The Braves, the fans, they're in shock, and baseball is in shock. And if anyone tells me that they had the Phillies over the Braves, let alone the Braves, let alone the Phillies over the Cardinals to even get to the NLDS, then you're lying, dude. How could
It's
they have
me picking Kansas last year to win the Natty. The only people stupid enough to pick the Phillies to win the World Series would be Phillies fans, and it would only be 2% of them. Only 2% of them would realistically think, the Phillies can do it.
Yeah, no one saw this coming.
True.
If you say you did, you're a liar. They had 14 less wins. The Braves were a powerhouse. There's no one saw this coming at all. The Braves, they simply could just not hold the Phillies offense with Fried not himself and Strider not ready to start after that injury. 2 crucial starts that they really needed in only a 5-game series. You don't have 20 games to get going and wait to have good starts. Every start matters, and when you don't have 2 good ones, that's 2 bad games. You're already down 2-0 if that's how it goes. So those were starts that are essential, and they were costly losses. The Phillies, as they should, they scored a total of 24 runs in 4 days. That's 6 runs per game off this team. It's an excellent score. How could the Phillies pitching hold up? You might ask. It's just not a good pitching staff. They're a contender for the Rookie of the Year. The Braves, they're just amazing. They have Michael Harris. The offense is amazing. Another player on the Braves. They basically have 2 NL Rookie of the Years. That one of them's gonna win, but they have 2 runner-ups, and it's just amazing, that team. This team's hitting crazy. How can the Phillies challenge this amazing Braves lineup, who was batting .253, in the season. It's amazing. They have a 317 on base percentage, 761, a second highest OPS on the season, and MLB, right behind the Dodgers regular season. The only answer to this, the Phillies they brought it the series. The Braves.
The Phillies
they went from
pitching had that dog in them.
They literally, quite literally, that's the only answer.
Yeah.
They just had that dog in them. The Braves went from a 253 average to a 180 average in this series.
Makes
They just
no
didn't
sense.
show up. Massive drop off. Their OPS went to 594. That would be 32 points behind the A's regular season, which was last place.
What? Yeah.
That is like last place garbage.
There wasn't even an insane lack of runs from the Braves.
It wasn't
they put up runs,
crazy.
yeah.
They put up runs.
They were just home
Game
run
one,
reliant. Like in that one game where they just stranded the bases loaded twice. Like you need to capitalize on that. And you just need hits. And if you can't string together hits, you're not winning a series, dude.
That's the result of the 3 true outcome baseball that we've been playing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you heard it in the wild card round. If you listen to any of the announcers during that first set of games, the first Mets Padres games, the first Phillies Cardinals game, the announcers just kept talking about home runs, and they say usually the team with the most home runs wins the game and wins the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're starting to see a little bit of a different story here because, especially with the Padres didn't hit an insane.
They might have hit
amount of
like
home runs.
one.
They hit a few.
Maybe
Not
one
even
a
that much.
game, but the Dodgers easily matched them in that category. So that's an interesting thing going on with baseball. Is I think the Braves did what their front office wanted them to do, and it just didn't work out for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. The Phillies just strung together their runs, and that, like, if you look at each like box score and each play-by-play, you just see like hit after hit after hit, single, double, like just things happening together, and the whole lineup clicks, and that's what it takes to win. Is the whole lineup clicking? They just couldn't string together the hits to save their life. The Phillies, they like if you look at their ERA this postseason, they have a 2.55 ERA already.
Damn.
And like that, I think it's like close to 4 in the regular season. Like they just literally had the dog in them. They brought it. And the Braves, they just couldn't string together the hits. And I think the Phillies capitalized on the fact that they're a little more power heavy, and they just, a little bit of everything. They had to
played
string
the Dodgers. The Phillies would have won, I think.
Probably, because we barely scored runs.
They just put up hella runs. The Braves did well. The Braves might have even beat the Dodgers in this.
Braves could honestly beat the Padres.
Beat us because we just weren't, like, based off what I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the Braves played a nice few ball games in there.
They
put up
did.
the runs they needed. Their pitching just fell to pieces, man.
Mm-hmm.
Really, that's it. Like, I was watching the Max Fried start, and I'm like, oh, so this game's going to be 0-0 in the 18th inning. And then Max Fried just got wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got destroyed.
Same thing
happens to be like that.
I think a good part of it was like the momentum. The Phillies
Definitely,
an amazing series right before this.
Way more
than
in years past.
You're in a race, and everyone's lined up on the finish line. But imagine there's one dude who's like back there, and he starts running, and right when the whistle's blown, he like just runs past, start. Like he has momentum, and a guy running with momentum compared to a guy starting flat foot is always going to beat him because he has the start.
Not always.
And I think the Phillies were that team that just were running before the whistle was blown. And I think that they started at the finish line. It wasn't cheating. But when you have that extra few like seconds to get a running start, like you're going to win the race. And I think they kind of beat them. Unless you're the Mariners.
That's a topic for another day.
That's really tough.
Or
you want to hear a stat?
Let's hear a stat.
Last time there was an economic recession, the Phillies won the World Series. There's a little bit of that this year, so
they win recessions.
It'll be the battle of the Dodgers curse, Padres, versus the economic recession. We'll see. I don't know though. It looks like it's on the Philly side for sure. They got the arms and the hitters.
If the Phillies win
1
the
through
World
9
Series, the Great Depression is starting.
You probably might be in trouble there.
I'm so hyped, guys.
Graduate
Can't wait for
college
this
while
shit.
you can.
Oh my god, this is so funny. Yeah, just kind of like a little aftermath. Phillies move on. We'll get into this in a second, but they go on to face San Diego on Tuesday. They're going into San Diego, into the Den. Both teams haven't played playoffs, home games for like a long time, like a decade, both.
Yeah, the Padres was 2006.
So,
Who's the home
I
team
was
for
2
that
years old
series?
when
Padres.
that happened.
Padres?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
God.
Padres have it. They were like a higher wild card.
Come on.
And the fans are going to be pumped. They have a lot riding on this NLCS win for the Phillies. Whoever wins is going to have a historic comeback because they were both like last place wild card teams. So either way, both of them have like technically like destroyed someone who deserved it, and they're moving on. And they're going to win the NL. Like whoever wins this is going to be an underdog because they're both underdogs. So whoever wins this is like basically accomplishing a lot because they went from underdog to champion of the NL. And
Underdog's the dog. Yeah.
yeah, they both have a lot riding on this and not a lot to lose because like it's not like they had too much going for this. Like it's not like you'd expect to win the NL. So yeah, that's kind of how it's going into this. We'll see. These are both good teams who have beaten like teams who you would think were like the powerhouse of the division. So we'll see who comes out on top and who wins that division.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting pennant for sure.
Yeah.
We'll see if the Padres actually block Phillies fans from coming to the games.
They're gonna block
that'd be really
people
interesting.
from Philadelphia.
Block that area code. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's a topic for a second.
I'm so mad. But
That's gotta be like after the World Series, we gotta like make an episode on that shit alone. Shit pissed me off.
It's interesting. Let's talk a little bit about momentum for the Phillies specifically. So, I would expect the Mets to be about as tough as the Braves. You know, like they had the same record. And the Phillies did not have momentum going into the Mets series. The Phillies got swept by the Cubs, and then went to go play the Mets, and won in 3 games. So I don't know if it's a matter of momentum for the Phillies. The Phillies have just been doing this thing all season where they'll lose 20 games in a row and then they'll proceed to win the next 21 games.
It's like the Cardinals last year almost.
Yeah. They, like if you scroll back through if you bring up like the schedule on ESPN for just the Phillies and you like scroll down, it's like a big block of green W's and then a big block of red L's.
www.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What are you looking at?
I'm watching a fight. But yeah.
I was watching shit.
Some girl got like a chunk of her face taken out. But yeah.
That's hilarious.
I know.
Some Andrew to watch.
Yeah, dude. I'm always betting.
I think the Phillies just have this weird thing where sometimes they can just hit, and if they can hit, that's GG. You just lose.
And that's what happened when the Dodgers played the Phillies too in the regular season.
Yeah.
Couldn't match up.
The Phillies are just a
Totally agree
weird
with
team
you.
like that, and I don't know if momentum has so much to do with it.
Or voodoo. I think voodoo definitely.
Yeah, I think there was some magic involved there.
Rob Thompson, you know how Snitker had that talk with the Braves in Arizona? Rob Thompson, the Phillies manager, he probably saw his opponents. He saw the Met. He saw a voodoo doll of Albert Pujols, stabbed it a couple times, and they freaking lost. And then, yep. And then they saw, I don't know.
Killed a voodoo doll of Buck Showalter or something like that.
Yep.
Die!
Yeah, and then he's on his way to get Manny Machado. He's going to stab that, and then they're going to stab Jose Altuve, and they're going to win the World Series. That's just the way it's going to happen.
If the Astros make it.
I really hope they don't, but...
When the Astros lose to the Cleveland Guardians.
I'm a Cleveland fan now, so let's.
I
See
better
that.
see you at a damn World Series game.
Yeah, let's see
Honestly,
it.
should.
I want to see that shit.
I'll walk to that. I'll do whatever it takes.
I know, like, the Phillies, like, you say the momentum is just, like, bullshit. Like, they're just kind of, like, the world's streakiest team.
Yeah.
But
I'm
it's
not
definitely,
saying
like,
necessarily that it's bullshit. I'm just saying it's not
consistent.
Like I think the Padres Dodgers thing was largely momentum based.
Absolutely.
I think that series was largely momentum based. I think this win was incidental. I think people are saying, look at this playoff format. The momentum makes it unfair, but I think the momentum was only a factor in one of these series out of the 4.
I get that, like, a team might, like, they could just win that series and lose that series. You know, like the Phillies have done. But it's one of the first times where, like, the opponent has to, like, sit down for a week, you know? And just
literally
kind of watch. Like,
I kind of wonder what that season series looks like. Hold on. Did we forecast this already? Yes, we did.
Might have.
Phillies, Braves.
I know that you said, like, they beat the Phillies, or the Cubs, and then went into the Mets.
They lost to the Cubs.
They lost to the Cubs, then beat the Mets. But, like, the Mets were playing baseball before that, you know? Like, imagine if the Mets, like, or, like, the Cubs just, like, sat down for, like, a week.
Literally.
I wonder what it would do to a team.
They could literally go to Hawaii for 5 days and then come back. Not even thinking about baseball. Like, momentum is so big in these things. And that's why freaking it was a conspiracy, dude. The MLB is always trying to trip the Dodgers, dude, every single year. I can't take it anymore, man.
Hold on.
God.
I have some thoughts on that, but those thoughts will come after we discuss the Padres Dodgers.
Just had to let that one out.
In the season series between the Braves and the Phillies, which we talked about last time, the Braves won, obviously, 11-8, which is not that big of a margin. But in the run differential between the two teams in the season series, it was 88-85.
That's hella close.
So
that is close.
I'm gonna be honest. I think momentum had very, very little to do with this particular series. I think the Phillies.
It was a big factor, though.
I think it was a big factor in the Padres.
I think it affected the Braves more than it affected the Phillies. If you know what I'm saying.
Maybe.
Well,
but I think
since they got swept, you go.
I think Spencer Strider starting didn't have anything to do with momentum. I mean, that was just because he was previously injured, right?
Mm-hmm.
They kind of rushed him, too.
They did rush him a little bit. And the way that the Phillies pitching lined up was immaculate. And I just don't...
But also that pen's never looked that good.
Yeah,
that's also true.
But the pen's just good now. Like, it's doing its job. And even though it might give up a few runs here or there, it's just keeping them in. It's like, where's that coming from? It's like, I don't know. There's no clear-cut answer is the issue.
Yeah.
Could just be postseason baseball. This happens a lot, but it could be momentum. You never know.
I think that it's mostly just the fun little matchup that they got going in the postseason baseball aspect. Because, I don't know, like Will Myers, I don't know if that was he kind of went off. He was having himself a nice series, but I don't know. Will Myers specifically, I think he was just having that postseason vibe. The other guys, definitely momentum. But I don't know.
Yeah.
These kind of upsets happen all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think this was just one of those upsets like we would have seen last year. I think it was in the same vein. Not the Padres Dodgers. Anyway, let's talk about Padres Dodgers.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
We all know how this one ended. It's literally impossible to avoid. Even if you hate baseball, you know the result of this series.
I want to skip this one, but yeah.
The umpires were a factor. The fans were a factor. The managers were a factor. So were the players. But I think that goes without saying.
Players are absolutely a factor.
The players are usually factors. The players are usually factors in baseball, you know? Okay, let's start with game one. The first three batters, of this series were retired in order by Julio Urias. That's Profar, that's Soto, and Machado. They all got ground outs. Clevenger was pitching for the Padres. Trey Turner, second batter for the Dodgers, quickly put them ahead 1-0.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be nice?
What do you mean, wouldn't that be nice? That literally happened. Freeman.
I'm talking later on. Like in an elimination game.
Wouldn't that be nice
to have?
Freddie Freeman struck out. He made the second out. Will Smith doubled, and Max Muncy put another run on the board, scoring Smith from second. JT walked, and Lux lined out to end the inning. Top and bottom of the second went 1-2-3. Drew Myers and Cronenworth, ABs, resulted in quick outs for Urias, and the Dodgers go the same way. Thompson, Bellinger, and Betts all result in quick outs as well. The only action in the Padres' third was a Nola double. Otherwise, no hits, no walks, no score. In the bottom of the third, Clevenger allows a leadoff double to Trey Turner. He then forced a Freeman pop out to the left. Smith capitalized on the base runner with his second double of the day, and he scored Trey Turner from second base. Muncy walked, runners on first and second, and JT struck out for out number 2. Lux immediately doubled. He scored Smith, moved Muncy to third, and the inning ends there with the next batter. And that inning ends Clevenger's night. Kind of tough night for him, but whatever. Wilson comes out of the pen for the Padres. His regular season ERA was 3.06. He cleans up that mess. Only 1 run scores on Wilson, and it's a fielding error by Myers. So not even really his fault. An uneventful inning passes. The fourth kind of goes down. Nothing remarkable happens. In the fifth, the Padres begin to mount a comeback. It's initiated by a leadoff home run by Will Myers, followed immediately by a single from Cronenworth, and then a double from Kim. Grisham grounds out, scoring a run, and Nola hits a sac fly, and that makes the game 5-3. Profar flies out. That's all the runs. No more runnings in scoring position either for the rest of the game. And game 1 goes to the Dodgers 5-3. The Dodgers scored all 5 of their runs in the first 3 innings. This theme remains prevalent for the rest of the series.
Predicting something. Foreshadowing.
Let's move on to game 2.
Foreshadowing.
Machado, don't know why I said Machado, that's not his name. Machado hits a solo home run off Kershaw with 2 outs in the first, puts the Padres ahead early, 1-0. Freeman matches it up in the exact same fashion in the bottom half with a solo home run off Darvish with 2 outs, 1-1 game. Kershaw set up a second and third 1-out jam in the top of the second, and he gets out of it. He strikes out Grisham and Nola. Muncy led off the bottom of the second with a home run. He puts the Dodgers up 2-1. And in the top of the third, Kim leads off with a single, followed by a Soto single. And Machado brings home Kim with a double down the third base line. And the game is now 2-2. Did I miss something? No, I didn't. On a Cronenworth ground out, Soto scores to make the game 3-2 in that inning. Trey Turner ties it up the very next inning with a solo home run. And relatively uneventful few innings occurs, and then Robert pulls Kershaw at 80 pitches after the 5th and puts in Brusdar Graterol. And he allows a leadoff single in the 6th to Drury, and Graterol allows 2 fielders' choice and an error, which is really kind of unfortunate for Graterol. The Profar single after that brings home Cronenworth. Darvish comes out of the game at this point after that inning. He allows 7 hits and 3 earned runs. Suarez cleans up the remains of that inning for Darvish, inducing a double play and getting a strikeout on JT. Yancy Almonte comes in. He has a clean inning. Suarez has a real tough inning. Didn't allow any runs, though. Trinan comes to pitch in the top of the 8th inning. He has a tough inning. He gets the lead off Drury ground out, but Cronenworth gets him for a one run shot. He allows a walk, then an intentional walk, and then a fielder's choice allows Grisham and Azekar, he ran for Profar, to advance. A Kim pop out gave Trinan what he needed, a 3rd out, and the inning ended. That's all the runs for the game. Padres take game 2, 5-3. That was kind of a common scoreline, 5-3.
Yeah.
Happened twice.
Game 3, interesting pitching matchup, but the Padres came out on top. Blake Snell got the win. Did that second run come in? Oh, I guess it did because Heaney gave up that run. Just kidding. I thought the bullpen gave up that run later, and Blake Snell got the win anyway.
Heaney gave up the run? I thought he didn't allow anything.
No, Heaney gave up one run.
Padres came out on top.
I think it was a homer.
2-1.
Yeah.
Not sure. I didn't cover a lot of the offense. It's mostly pitching stats here. Blake Snell gets the win. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 1 earned, 6 Ks. Gonsolin got the loss. 1 1/3 innings, 1 earned, 1 strikeout. Heaney pitched 3 innings, 1 earned, 4 strikeouts. Almonte pitched 2/3. Vegia pitched 2/3. Phillips pitched 1 1/3. And however you say this guy's name, Canley pitched 1 inning. The Padres' pen held strong. They allowed 1 hit in 3 2/3 innings. And on the Padres side, the RBIs came from Cronenworth and Grisham. And for the Dodgers, Mookie obtained their sole RBI. Game 4, this was an interesting one. I caught maybe from the 5th inning onward because I was busy driving to Kansas City. In Game 4, Anderson started for the Dodgers and Musgrove started for the Padres. Freeman double in the top of the 3rd. Betts and Trey Turner go home to put the Dodgers up 2 runs early. Anderson pitches well through 5 innings. He gets pulled after 85 pitches. Interesting. When Musgrove is pulled, Wilson allows another run to Betts, a Smith sac fly RBI. In the bottom of the 7th inning, the Padres start cooking. Canley walks the leadoff hitter, allows a single to Grisham to put runners on the corners, no out. A chopper goes down just out of reach of Freddie. Nola collects an RBI. That was an infield single, which is rather unfortunate. And the Padres would go on to win that game. The momentum kind of just couldn't be stopped. They scored 5 runs in that inning. Yency Almonte got pulled after pitching 2/3 of an inning and giving up a few runs. And 3 pitchers in the 7th inning for the Dodgers, which is real interesting. And that sums up the series. The Padres are going to the NLCS.
Yep.
Let's talk.
Where's the
Umpires have been a common thing that I've been seeing people complain about.
Yeah, I think it's that time. Hold on.
I
Now you're good.
have all the umpire scorecards.
Perfect. Let's hear it.
Yeah, they're dog shit.
The umpires
Got paid
were
off.
bad.
That's what happened.
The umpires
They were
bad.
awful.
Awful. Terrible.
However,
The worst one, the one that mattered.
yeah.
Who's the Padres owner? Not Freddie Freeman or anything like that. Not
The Game 4 overall consistency was 95%, which is above average, but also the overall accuracy
Can't have
was
that.
under average. So
How did this crew make it to the playoffs?
this umpire was about
Shitberg.
average for umpires across the league, which really makes you wonder, why is this guy in the postseason if he's average,
Exactly.
bro?
Yeah,
We need the best umpires.
Yeah.
Angel Hernandez could have called a better game.
I could have called a better game with my eyes closed, dude.
Yeah. God.
Overall, the umpire scorecards don't seem to think it was terribly impactful, however.
For Game 4.
Over the course for Game 4, it was impactful.
Yeah. For the rest, I don't think it was. I didn't read them.
The rest didn't really matter. And
there was no moment where I was like, "Oh, that really costed us." So
there were a couple of those moments in Game 4.
Yeah, Game 4.
I was watching and I was like, "That is a tough call."
Losing it, yeah.
But the Padres got some tough calls in the late innings that were kind of.
Went their way.
Obviously it was after they were already winning, so it didn't matter. But in the later innings, the Padres got some real questionable calls. So I think the umpire was just bad.
He was inconsistent as hell.
Yeah.
Like, Angel Hernandez is at least, like, consistently terrible. This guy's just inconsistent.
Angel Hernandez is inconsistently terrible, but his strike zone is also not consistent either. Like
Yeah, I guess.
Angel Hernandez, a guy will make a pitch down the middle and it's a ball, and that's kind of what was going on.
If this guy ever umps another game at Dodger Stadium, he's gonna, I don't know, his car is not gonna be there the very next day.
It's like
his life won't be the next day.
It's like the video of Angel Hernandez driving out of the Phillies game. That guy just screams, "Angel Hernandez, you stink, and I don't like you," and then he just like laughs at them. So, the umpires were a factor.
Unfortunately.
Sadly.
How many Padres fans were at the Dodgers games?
Couple.
Not many. There were
I'd say as much Dodgers fans as were at the Padres games.
It was
like
flipped.
It's flipped. Like what, 90 to 95%.
About, yeah.
Do either of you guys know that you said it was illegal, Andrew?
It should be illegal. I don't think it is.
Is that an accurate statement?
I'm at Chapman, and there's a law student who literally was like, "Wait, can they do that?"
Yeah.
They were like, "Wait, doesn't that break this law?"
Surely they can do it, because otherwise they wouldn't.
They got away with it, so I'm assuming somehow there was a way to do it. But like, the fact that it's this questionable. I don't know. At that point it becomes sad if that's what you got to do.
There's not a lot of.
It's a newer tactic, so I don't think there's like a lot of.
It would have been a completely different environment if that was there. Just gonna put that up.
But
and it would have been funner too. Like the fans are going at it.
Don't think it was unfair.
It's a little bullshit.
I think it depends on what you look at it. I mean, it's totally fair because you should have your home fans be there, but at the same time, if your team's just not there for you to the point where you need to ban the opponent,
you don't deserve your fans then.
Dodger fans are so good at showing up that you just can't allow them to show up.
We travel so well.
It seems a little unfair to be like that.
You don't get to go.
Yeah, because we're that good, and you just don't like us being that supportive of our team.
I made a joke with
you won't let us support our team elsewhere. Like, why can't I buy a ticket to go see my team somewhere?
Did not ban Dodgers fans.
And they blocked anyone from the LA area, so that's basically
resale
banning them for 2 games. I don't know about resale, but directly.
Resale, but
resale.
MLB has to manage it. Imagine if those ticketing sites didn't exist, then
well, they do.
Theoretically, not one Dodger fan goes unless they from San Diego. When does that happen?
There are plenty. There are Dodgers fans everywhere, and there are so many Dodgers fans. I think the issue that the Padres are looking at is they didn't want the Dodgers fans to outprice their fans, because the Dodgers fans have more fans, period, from around the world, right? That's accurate. I don't think anyone denies that the Padres have no fans. And the more fans you have, the more fans with money you're gonna have. So, I think it would be unfortunate if the Padres released their tickets and the demand drove the prices so high that local Padres fans couldn't get to go, which honestly isn't really the crux of the issue, so I don't know why I'm bringing this up. But I don't think it's that unfair either, because the Dodgers had their home field advantage in their stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the home team.
Okay.
For the series. And I think both teams got their home field advantage, which both teams deserve to have a home field advantage. And I don't think I don't think the Padres would have had a home field advantage.
When you have to they wouldn't, but when you have to rig the system to gain your home field advantage.
Well, it's not rigged though, because there's no rules against it. They didn't rig anything. They just said, you can't come.
Not from what I know, but I've heard a lot of people say that this is very sus. So
I'm not even
a simple search. There's not a lot of questioning happening from news, and that's the news number one thing they like to do is they like to harass people for the things that they do. So I don't think that there's any rules or whatever.
I don't think the Padres fans have a right to home field advantage.
Not at all.
It's just based off
they didn't earn
will
it
your
based
team
off
show
the
up.
record. Yeah.
If all the Padres fans showed up and took LA and Dodger Stadium, What are we supposed to do about that? Ban the Padres fan? Like,
Yes.
Literally,
they showed
we
up.
did not.
Yes.
What am I?
That
No.
is that
Here's
is
the
what's
thing,
supposed to
too.
They
happen.
showed up. That's good for them. They can see their team elsewhere. Like it
Yeah.
shouldn't be banned for them to come. It's totally fair for them to do so. And that's why in 2018, when I don't know why, but there's a lot of Red Sox fans here. Like it was a good 40% of the fans were Red
Good
Sox.
crowd,
There are
yeah.
Showed
a
up.
lot
Like
of
we're
Red
not
Sox
gonna
block
just
and
ban the
Yankees
Red
fans
Sox.
here.
That's just show up. It's your team. Like I don't care. You know?
Here's the thing, too. Also in the regular season, you look at the Padres games at Petco Park against the Dodgers. It's literally all Dodgers fans. Like that.
It's Dodger
Doesn't
Stadium
line up
South.
at all.
So
Literally, that's why we call it that
this
way.
is I don't really care if
And it
it's
was,
right
every
or
game,
wrong
too.
for the Padres to do it. It just wasn't unfair. Because they're allowed to do that, and the Dodgers were allowed to do that to the Padres, but they didn't.
They're the only team doing it, though. That's, the issue.
What does that have anything to do with this? The Dodgers could have done it, but they didn't. And the Padres,
We don't need to. We have fans show up to our games.
It's
They're
not a matter of who
little
needs
scared.
to.
They're like, oh, our fans are going to be outnumbered. Oh, shoot. Yeah,
So
it's bullshit.
here's
That's
a
what it is.
question. Is sacrifice bunting unfair?
No, because what's wrong with it? It's not against the
Some
rules. It's
people
totally
think
fair.
that it's bad, and that players should
How?
stop doing it altogether because it's boring and it's bad for the sport.
What the
Yeah, well, I don't think that you should make modifications to the sport to make it the way you want it. The same way you shouldn't modify how many fans of what team you want to make it how you want it.
But the rules are the way they are.
Make
right
it
now.
open-ended. Any fan can show up. Any player can bunt. Do whatever you
Should
want
be
with
like
it.
that,
Don't
yeah.
control the masses.
I don't.
It's just like bunting.
I
It's
don't
the same
care if
argument.
I don't care if it's rude or not, or stupid, or if the Padres are wrong for doing it. It wasn't unfair.
I'm
You can
completely
bunt.
convinced.
You can go to any game you want. You can do whatever you want. I'm not going to control that you can't bunt. I'm not going to control that you can't go to that game because you live close to my stadium or far away from my stadium. I'm not going to control it. Do whatever the hell you want. It's the same with bunting. It's the same with running up the scoreboard. I don't care. Do what you
Yeah.
want. I mean, there's
Yep.
no rule against it. So do what you want. It should be open-ended. You shouldn't limit the people to do what they need to do.
The Padres did what they wanted.
Yeah, and it's bullshit.
Straight up bullshit. I'm completely convinced that the Padres hired 20,000 actors, paid actors. They paid them $100+ to go to the game. They said, "Come here, act like a fucking obnoxious asshole."
Is that why the stadium was rocking? Because they're all
They're all actors, yeah. Dude, I saw front row. There were a bunch of freaking idiot Padres fans. They're like, "Ooh, fucking morons, dude." All of them, just something about them, dude. They're like Lakers fans. Can't stand these guys.
Are Dodgers
I don't
fans
know.
better?
Well, dude, we're classy, all right. We have a set up agenda, you know.
There's no way.
show up late,
There's
we
no
show
way
up
that
late.
you saw Padres fans cheering for their team, and you're like, "Oh, those guys are stupid. Those guys look like clowns."
No,
and then you would go
They
to a
didn't show up to
Dodgers
the
game
regular
and jump
season,
up
and the
and
fact
down.
that they're doing this now,
They
it
didn't show
doesn't
up
make
to
it
the
any
regular
better.
season.
When the
they had a high
Dodgers play the
attendance,
Padres,
bro.
they don't show up.
Okay,
Yeah.
when we showed up, they weren't there.
I'd like,
But they had a high
I don't know.
attendance.
Yeah,
Padres did.
I'm gonna be honest. I can see why
Bullshit.
they wouldn't show up to a Dodgers game, a regular
'cause
season
they,
Dodgers game, because you just get
Because
wrecked.
they went 14-5.
It's the same reason that I don't go to Angels games towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
I know
What are
the
you
outcome
gonna-
already. When the
What are you
Angels
gonna
play
do about
the
it?
Yankees,
Pay the Dodgers fans to stay home?
No.
Right.
Yeah,
But
no,
in the
you don't.
postseason, the fans actually want to show up. It's like
You
how
show
when
up. It's not my
Show
problem.
up,
Yeah,
during
the
just
regular
do it.
season.
You don't need to rig it.
their stadium
Yeah.
was full.
I really need an A. Let me just make it so I can only
Oh,
get from a B
The
to an A.
Dodgers fans,
if you get a C,
Dodgers
you
fans,
fail, bro.
Dodgers fans had ways of getting tickets. Dodgers fans were not banned from getting tickets. They
You
were
would need-
banned from initial
needs to
point.
be
It made it
MLB.
really hard, though.
It needs to be the initial purchase. These other ticket prices or other places are gonna jack up the prices. You know it is. It was literally 3 times more to go to. I checked. It was 3 times
Oh.
more to go to Petco Park than Dodger Stadium.
It's fucking.
For the outcome.
How
The
much was
same
it?
ticket,
What's
same
the
area.
capacity on the stadiums?
For
Was it
Petco?
40?
I'm pretty sure it's 40-something thousand for Petco and 52 for LA.
Okay.
I mean, that would kind of explain that one.
how
It's
much
not
was
that big of a difference.
how much was the tickets though? How much were they?
20%.
It was 3 times more to go to Petco Park for the same ticket.
Like specifically.
What do you mean specifically? Okay, LA was 120, and Petco was like 320 something.
Okay. Yeah.
It was 3 times more to go to that game. On stuff, any StubHub was the cheapest. I could go to other ticket places and find more expensive.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rigged to not go if you're a Dodger fan. I'm telling you.
Or if
I don't know why it's not talked about at all, but it's whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, if you make the initial part and you're in LA, then still you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know, like, so it's.
Were you banned from initial point of sale?
I would be, because you have to be close to San Diego.
I thought basically it
was just LA County.
It showed you the places that it wanted and the places that it wouldn't accept.
When I saw it, I thought it was only LA.
But if you do resale, obviously it's gonna not even check because StubHub don't give a shit.
StubHub doesn't care. I'm trying.
They just want you to buy the ticket.
You know what else isn't talked about enough? Freaking Joe Musgrove's fucking
his ears.
Shit, yeah, his ears, dude. Like, definitely not like couple fucking.
We should have checked his ears. That would have been
rotations
so funny.
And shit. Yeah, I want to win a real ring. You know, I don't want that Astros ring to stay. Shut the hell up, dude. Freaking number one hated man.
They checked him
in LA.
And he didn't have anything.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's tough.
It's the script, dude. The MLB script. They want a freaking comeback story, dude. And Joe Musgrove is the guy, you know? The one Houston Astro that feels sorry for his actions.
What are you talking
that doesn't happen.
about, my guy? You sound delusional.
I mean, if you're a Dodgers fan and you've dealt with all this crap.
Bro, you're actually the Joker because of this Dodgers loss.
Yeah, 111 wins, like, that should be enough. I guess it isn't.
Huh?
Dude, it was in the regular season telling us how many postseason wins we'd get. They were shouting to us.
I know, one.
One, you'll get one. You'll get
yes,
one.
I know. Fourth most wins in NL history. No, fourth most wins in Major League history, I think.
When did the 2001 Seattle Mariners exit the playoffs?
In the DS, I think.
Yeah,
DS or CS?
That happens all the time. The Dodgers are not special and God's favorite team.
Dude, that team played the freaking Yankees. Like, what do you think is going to happen
in MLB history? You got to be pretty rare.
That doesn't happen, yeah. Like, at all.
Just because the Seattle Mariners got out, like, that doesn't mean
they played the Yankees, too. The Yankees
it's not common, them all year. But it happens.
Yeah, what? Once every blue moon? Like,
I mean, teams don't ever win that much. I wonder what the record...
Once in a generation, I know that at least.
110 win teams.
Just happen to be.
How often do they win? How far do they go in the playoffs on average? I don't think there's a way to get that statistic.
They go decently far.
I mean, none of the teams this year did, but this year's stupid.
But like only one team got to 110, so.
I guess the Mets I thought the Mets and the Braves got 110, but they got 109. Do you have... I don't know how you would find that statistic.
That's a really weird statistic.
110 win teams. The 1927 Yankees. I don't really care about the 1927 Yankees. Let's see. So the 1998 Yankees won the World Series. Yep. They had 114 wins.
Wow.
The 1954 Indians with 111 wins. Let's see. Does it say? Cleveland got swept in the World Series, and this was in 1954, so I don't know what the playoff format was like. But I know back in the day, it was just whoever won the AL.
I think it was just the CS and then the World Series. Either that or DS, CS, World Series.
And then this year, the Dodgers are a 110 win team. And then the 1909 Pirates. Made it to the Fall Classic. And won in 7 games. But that was also in 1909. 1969, this is a little more relevant.
Nice.
Very nice. The O's were upended by the Miracle Mets in a 5-game World Series.
At least they made the World Series.
The 1961 Yankees probably won the World Series because they're the Yankees. Yeah, they did.
Once a decade.
Yeah.
Or
Well, not once a decade.
A generation is what I originally said.
Once a generation, a 110-win team wins a World Series. And it happens, I guess, like twice a generation. So.
How many years is a generation?
Like 60, 80 years in that window.
Okay.
1906, 1902, 1909, 1954, 2020, 2001, 1927, 1907, 1931, 1998, 1939. And the Dodgers have a little asterisk next to their thing. Well, I guess they were, because it was the 2020 season.
So, yeah, this is a rare occurrence, and I blame that's why I'm in pain.
You blame the ticket sales?
No.
Altogether.
It's just annoying. I think it's dumb.
It is annoying.
It's not the reason we lost.
I do agree that it's annoying and dumb.
It is.
And we dominated the season like the regular. We dominated.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with why we lost. We should have won.
That's what I was saying. We weren't even arguing about the same thing.
No, we weren't. But I'm just telling you that
it's stupid. It shouldn't have happened. I absolutely agree that it shouldn't have happened.
There's so many
Padres
factors.
Shouldn't have done that. And there should be a rule instituted that says teams cannot do that. But I don't think it had an effect on the outcome of the games.
No, me neither. It would have helped. It would have been nice to have fans, but you still got to play baseball. It doesn't affect.
One thing that I wanted to talk about is Dave Roberts' continued underperformance.
Yep.
When we make it to the postseason.
Felt like I've heard that one before.
I think he made some
moments ago when Andrew and I were fighting in the DMs.
He made some annoying decisions. I wouldn't say terribly costly, but more Dave Roberts shit. When you have a hot hand.
That game 4.
He was managing pretty well before, and then game 4.
I told Andrew earlier. I think I blame Dave Roberts for the game 4 loss. If it's anyone's fault, I think it's Dave Roberts for game 4 specifically.
Yeah, you have a hot hand. You don't take them out that early.
3-0. Yeah.
Anderson
you have the lead.
Got pulled after 85 pitches. I know that he's not a deep
playoffs?
guy, but come on, he can give you another inning.
Dealing.
He literally is a deep guy. He's gone way deeper than that in the regular season. He's done 100 pitches. His no hitter against the Angels that went 8 innings. He went 120 pitches. He can do it.
I think he went.
Yeah.
I think he went 112, and that was his career most. That's.
Well, he's at least gone near 100, on multiple occasions.
His career high was 112.
He's a deep guy.
That's what I'm saying. Is
an inning eater.
He may not be a Garrett Cole who pitches on 3 days rest and still throws 120 pitches, 99 miles an hour, but why pull him after 85 pitches in 5 innings? It's ridiculous.
Joe Musgrove was the same way, but they kept him in. And it eventually worked.
I hate the Dodgers, but this makes me so mad. Because, when players are putting on a good performance, it's just good for the game. People want to watch them. People want to watch players absolutely deal.
I bet he was pissed.
I want to watch players absolutely deal.
It's an elimination game, bro. You need to keep a guy in, let him finish the game if you need to, but I get it won't make sense, but let him go deep. If he's hot, let him go because we need the outs, dude.
Yeah. Gonsolin was kind of getting wrecked in game 3.
But, yeah.
How bad was he getting
then it turned into a bullpen game.
He just was having a rough time. A lot of not clean innings. But
he only had
the two that
he pitched.
He got out only with 1 run though. But still,
the 2 that he was in, the first inning and when he was doing the second one, they were just not clean. And I don't think he was planning on letting him go that deep. So he was probably planning on 50-ish pitches, and he kind of got close to that. I guess something less than that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Also, I want to say this. Like, literally, Roberts, he was, like, warming up Bruce Dark-Ratero, who's been a monster in the postseason. He didn't even play him. Like, why do you warm him up? And then you put in freaking Almonte. He's been all right.
And,
but he just, like,
like, the whole idea that, like, I know you want to put, like, Phillips in to, like, keep the game close later. Like, when it's, like, it's down to the line later and you want to just make sure you win. But, like, if it's an elimination game, man, like, just put Phillips in. Like, we don't have time to mess around and, like...
No, you can't play
be
around.
like, I hope these guys get to the next 8th inning because I really need Phillips to, like... Okay, what if that doesn't happen? And then Phillips just is pitching for no reason. Like, put in the best pitcher every inning. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
like, you have to win this game, dude. You can't just, like, cross your fingers and hope 2 guys are going to get you to the next inning when you can use the good hand. Just use the good hand. Like, you don't have time to waste. I thought that was dumb.
Andrew Heaney kind of had some sloppy innings as well. I was about to judge Dave Roberts for his management of that bullpen game, but I honestly, that was kind of
it eventually worked out.
It worked out. I mean, I think that was the best he could have done.
His pitchers were getting wrecked, so I don't really blame him for that one.
He just managed the lineup a little weird in terms of like.
Some of those pinch
like Thompson
hits were weird, like pinch hitting Cody Bellinger into a game.
Yeah,
you're losing.
That was thrown in the towel. Didn't really like.
That was thrown in the towel. Like Thompson
we didn't play Joey Gallo either. Like he didn't do anything.
That was my big thing. Like it's coming down to the late innings of this game.
And he's a home run hitter.
And
he
Cody
can hit
Bellinger comes up to bat,
and
I'm like, why is Cody Bellinger batting? Because I didn't see the first 4 innings. And Gavin's like, oh, he's just been in, and I'm like, that's great. So the Dodgers are playing someone who's terrible in an elimination game when they have Joey Gallo, who's been elite for them since they traded for him, or I don't know, many other options. The Dodgers do not have a shortage of
power
options.
hitter in Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
I was so lost in multiple occasions. Like, I don't know, you bring in Austin Barnes for one of those pinch hits. It's like, what? He's a backup catcher.
Dave
dude.
Roberts also
it almost worked
canceled his
DH.
It did almost work.
Like he brought
that too.
In a close game where he needs a rally, but at the same time, if he gets a rally, the pitcher's gonna come up to bat.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. I don't.
Yeah. Then you just got to pinch hit for your pitcher, and then you're just kind of running your bullpen dry.
And then the bullpen has to run dry because, you have to keep pinch hitting for them, and then you have to keep taking people out of the game, and so you run out of bench depth. It's real questionable for me.
I didn't like the moves he made. Some players weren't even used that were on that roster. It's like, what's the point?
It was Chris Taylor got his chance at the very last chance. Miguel Vargas, he's been a hot.
He blew it, but
he didn't. Yeah, freaking garbage. I don't want to see your ass in Dodger blue ever again. Miguel Vargas, dude, this guy hot. Can't even play him. What the hell is he doing here? I'd rather freaking put in Hanser Alberto than freaking Bellinger then, dude.
Did Joey Gallo have an AB?
No.
Nope.
No one.
Nope.
What the
If you watch the 4 games, he wasn't appeared on the camera. He wasn't in a shot on the camera
at all. He was just sleeping in the clubhouse.
Probably could have.
Hanser Alberto got a shot on the camera, and he's not on the roster.
He didn't do shit. Yeah.
He was seen in the dugout. That was it.
Wait, why is Hanser Alberto not on the roster?
Just because
we just didn't have enough room, and picked Joey Gallo over him, and I think Vargas. It was either Vargas or him, pretty much.
Yep.
And we picked Vargas, so he was good, but we just
was Joey Gallo a rental?
I think so. This is the last year.
I think his contract's
It expires this year.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
He'll go back to the Yankees and then go back to the Dodgers.
Yeah. Okay. It's just a cycle when your contracts
keep going. Mm-hmm.
It's like a half-a-year contract because he just plays for the other team out there.
Yeah, pretty much.
That 7th inning Game 4 is bewildering to me. Of all the decisions that Dave Roberts made, I just keep thinking what if Dave Roberts let Almonte get the last out?
The biggest what if,
My biggest what if is what if that called the pitch that was a strike.
Oh my god.
What if Cronenworth caved on the pitch that was a strike and it was 3-3? What?
And the pitch right after that, they scored 2 runs.
Yep.
Like, God,
that's been on my mind since that inning happened. What if
that's the biggest ball puncher right
just
there?
called the strike?
Completely gone.
That was a strike.
Yeah.
You'll never know, but like.
And that ball that wasn't called a strike, it was like farther outside, or it was closer inside of the strike zone.
He called a ball that was a ball off the plate a strike, but the ball that was like clipping the plate was a ball.
It was touching like the part of the strike zone, like.
Yeah, it was a little off, but like it was closer.
Yeah.
If you're gonna expand the zone and like have a bigger outside,
how do you call that? Yeah.
That's probably a standard, like a little outside pitch that umps call.
I would love to have
that's been on my mind.
So I could give them some
the umpiring
messages
for that last game was on par with last year's postseason.
Yeah.
Last year's postseason was so bad. Every single game I watched, I'm like, what just happened? I think the last game was the exact same thing. We just saw it again, and I think we cannot implement robot umpires fully. You know what I mean? I think we got to go to that replay system that AAA is using.
No, yeah, I like it the most.
For every single pitch.
No.
We'll have
you get a couple
7-hour games. No, I know what you're saying.
Like down the middle. That was a ball, dude.
Yeah. Review that. We have 20-minute reviews.
Some minor leagues were using
that's a good idea,
where
though.
the umpire just has his phone in his pocket with an AirPod, and like the system literally just tells his phone what it is, and then it just tells him strike, and then he just calls a strike, and I don't know about that one.
I don't know.
Umpires are getting. Dude, the Astros will find a way to cheat with that. They will tamper with his phone, and then they'll make the calls go to them.
It was shown that those zones are like just as accurate, if not a little less, than the umps themselves. The automated ones. If you look at it, it does. But like as of right now, if you're gonna implement it, like you can't do it for every call because it's gonna be the same issue. You have to do a review for those tougher calls.
You have to.
Yeah. That's the only way to get it.
You have to.
I mean, I don't even think MLB is planning on implementing it for next year.
No. I don't think so. I think in a couple years.
The technology is a little rough right now.
Yeah.
But it's getting to that point where it's better than the actual umpires. Especially umpires like
getting over that hill
guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't.
Yeah, we need review on that kind of stuff.
I have to.
And I
mean, if we get a correct official call, like both of those are balls, and that won't really help much. It's just frustrating with inconsistent.
The way it changes it up.
I also approve of the review system because there are sometimes those pitches where like a pitcher throws right down the middle, but like, you know when the catcher's expecting a curveball down and away, they're like set up with their knees down and their glove down so they can like block it, and they're like not near the strike zone, and then they get a fastball up and in, and then they like jump and they have to like grab it, and literally
like that.
The catcher thinks it's a ball, the pitcher thinks it's a ball, the umpire thinks it's a ball. There's a clip of that happening in AAA, and the stadium speaker just says strike, and everyone just kind of stands there and looks around like, what? No, but it was a strike.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
it was.
And it's not in the spirit of the game. Like that wasn't a strike in the spirit of the game. So I think the umpire review thing really gets that right. I think it gets that aspect right. And allows for catchers to still do their work. Except now they have to trick the umpire and the batter, which is tough.
Yeah.
Momentum is a factor this postseason, and I would like to see them change the postseason format.
I mean, not many players have said on the Dodgers that it affected them, but
it definitely did.
I mean, to see the offense fall off like that, and I've seen it happen before, like in 2019. These are other years where like you have a great year and then they just like go to bed. Or I don't know what the fuck kind of drug they're taking, but they like just don't show up for the postseason. Like I know that happens, but like. This was just insane. What you were saying, the first 3 innings, and that's it. Like a storyline for this whole series. I don't know what happened, but they looked kind of like dormant, like the fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex fossils in the ground. Like, they're gone.
It's crazy to think, too. I didn't think, like, us scoring 5 runs and then just shutting off. I didn't think that was going to be, like, an issue. I thought we were going to get our runs. It was going to be all figured out, but turned out the exact opposite, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does suck, doesn't it?
Yep. If only Angels fans could feel our pain. They feel it in the regular season.
Yeah.
I feel your pain every single day of my life. I felt no worse pain.
I don't know about that.
I felt no worse pain
you gotta be one of
in
us
my entire life than when the Angels were tied for first place with the Astros and then lost 14 games in a row. I was about ready to take the trip up to the 3rd tier and jump off the stadium in the middle of the game. Just so the Angels would stop playing.
Set an example.
Just so the Angels would stop playing and stop subjecting innocent people to their
brain torture.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one just hurts because you're a historically good team, and then, like, like you go into the series and you thought it was gonna be like easy peasy, and it's not. But even then, like you thought maybe in Game 3, or Game 4, you're like, okay, this isn't gonna be easy, but we could like pull this off if we just get through these last 2 or 3 innings, and you still couldn't even do that. Like, you couldn't even make it hard on yourself and do good. You just couldn't do good even like when it was hard on you. So
they refused to play well. That's literally
they refused to play good, and then they just refused to play decent and average. And at that point, it's like, okay, you're not gonna do it, dude.
It's really interesting to me when the postseason format was announced. People were way on board with it, and I just hate change. I'm just like a grandpa guy.
Awesome.
So I automatically opposed the new playoff format. I thought, oh, this is stupid. This is bad. And, like, my reasons were not... That was one of my reasons, but I didn't think it was going to be a big factor. Like, I'm like, oh, it's the momentum. Ha, ha, ha. But really, the big reason is because I hate change. But...
You're still living in the 1940s.
I am living in the 1940s.
I think something could be changed.
To baseball where there's no interleague play.
We'll see about that.
I don't believe that. Less interleague play.
That'd be kind of interesting.
You could... I don't even know, man.
Not gonna happen. They expanded interleague play this year, so I'm not gonna get my wishes.
Ooh, yeah.
We'll see.
Neal and I are gonna boycott Dodger games. We're gonna show up outside the stadium and we're just gonna turn like cars around. We're gonna have like barriers so people
picket fences and say, "Where's the trophy?"
Yep.
You have to,
They stole our trophy.
You gotta go to every single. You have to buy the cheapest tickets from resale places, so that you're not like, not paying the Dodgers.
We're not
directly.
paying for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
You're not paying the Dodgers, and you can't buy any concessions or anything, and you just have to stand in the outfield where your tickets are, and just chant, "Fire Roberts," like the White Sox fans did with Tony this year.
We could probably start that chant.
That
People would probably listen to us.
People would absolutely listen to you next year.
Yeah, if we're getting blown out against like the D-backs, like for sure.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Yeah, well, that puts a wrap to the Dodgers.
I mean, why do you guys care? The World Series trophy is just a piece of metal.
Exactly.
You know what? You're right, Jack. Thank you. That makes me feel a lot better.
Rob Manfred's wise words made everybody so angry, bro. That's the worst possible thing he could have ever said.
Yeah. No, that tainted him. Like, not gonna lie, that kind of ruined him.
That's why I think every change that Rob Manfred embraces is bad for the game of baseball.
Mm-hmm. Because it's incentivized
He's the
by
Roger Goodell, dude.
What just happened?
Clown. Oh, shoot.
Loading. And with that, the podcast is over.
Pretty much.
Is the podcast? Well, the podcast is over. Yes, we have nothing left to talk about. But...
Oh, before we go, we should do World Series picks. New World Series picks.
Updated World Series picks.
All of ours are gone. Like, literally.
All right, guys, I'm going to just say this real quick.
Well, the other DS isn't over, so...
Actually, I'm going to make it tomorrow, because I want to have the CSs, and then...
Sure.
Yeah.
Make your prediction for who's going to make it to the World Series, because no one...
Right now, or tomorrow.
From the
NL side, I'm calling my Phillies. They're going to do it.
Absolutely, go Phillies.
They're going to shut down the Padres. I hope that Manny
Really
Machado
hope so.
has a career-ending injury.
Like, really hope
and
so.
Captain Caveman in 4.
In 4?
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
I think I
I like
have
that
it in 4 as well. I don't think this will be quite as a 5 game-ish.
The only
That's enough.
outcome where the Phillies don't win in 4 is if they go cold and then they just lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the
If
Phillies
it goes
get cold,
more
they
than
just
4, they're
lose.
done.
Suck.
Yeah, there's no way their pitching can do 5.
The Padres didn't even beat the Dodgers by that much. The Dodgers just beat themselves.
Actually,
the Padres played really good baseball.
They played well, but the
I'll
Dodgers
put it in
with
5.
the talent, they just
I'll put it in
the
5.
dick. Yeah.
I think
got
the Phillies.
I got Phillies in 5 too.
I think the San Diego Padres get at least 1 win in that series.
Yeah.
So I think it'll take 5.
Joe Musgrove wins in San Diego probably, and then.
That's their one win.
That's the one win. Then the
Yeah.
Phillies get 4 after that.
Yep. Who's making it out of the AL?
We don't know yet. We don't even know who's done with the DS yet.
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a bit.
It's going to be Cleveland, Philadelphia, and Cleveland is winning their first World Series.
I want to pick Cleveland
8
so
years.
bad, so I'm going with Cleveland.
Do it.
Cleveland and Astros. And if I'm wrong, then we get Yankees Astros, and that's even better.
Who could have predicted, right?
Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I cannot deal with the Yankees Astros ALCS.
No, we get that every year.
It's bad, bro. I want both of those teams to lose. We already
at least the NL's original.
We already have Mariners Astros.
Our script is unique.
DS. We had a Mariners Astros DS, and I wanted both of those teams to lose, and then one of them won. So
how'd that happen?
I can't have another team that I want to lose win. You know what I mean? Yeah. Guardians are going to the World Series in the American League.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's just the way it happens. And I'm going to be in my first World Series game ever.
Hour and a half long episode because we were fighting the whole time.
Pretty much.
Yeah, a good portion.
I wish this was a live one so we could actually throw hands.
We weren't even arguing.
Not really. We were just mildly
babbling,
throwing
stuff.
I said
it's really good.
I said this doesn't affect the outcome of the games, probably. And you said, well, the Padres shouldn't have done it. And I said, yes. But do you agree that it didn't affect the games? And you said, the Padres shouldn't have done it.
I think you worded it like that. Otherwise, I would have understood you. You didn't word it quite like that.
Trying to trip us
He's like, the Dodgers couldn't have done it, but they didn't. It's like, okay, well, that's not quite just...
What do you mean by that one? Yeah.
I said unfair. I meant unfair, competitively, not unfair to the fans or unfair to...
Oh, yeah.
The experience.
Well, yeah, that was the whole dilemma there.
It was unfair to me because I spent 12 hours watching the Dodgers, and I want those 12 hours back. But guess what? I'm not getting them back.
You're going to have to call Dave Roberts about that one, bro. You're going to have to call Dave Roberts. That's on no one but him.
Literally, yeah.
Well, me and Andrew will go grasp with the fact that the Dodgers lost.
We're going to cope,
We were coping at 4 a.m. for him the night.
Dude, I called him. We were texting for so long. I called him, and we talked for an hour straight.
Yeah,
my roommate was trying to go to
session,
bed, and I'm like, yeah. I was so fucking...
fuck your roommate.
Oh, yeah.
I almost started crying, too. I was, close to tears.
I've already cried, dude, on multiple occasions. I think that's why I said I think I'm okay though, because it's not affecting me as much.
Yeah, I might start crying at a random spring, summer, be like, oh shoot.
The Angels fans, we're not crying. We're watching Mike Trout at the Eagles game.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
And then we're already getting our hopes up for next off season. You know how that?
So are we.
You know how that happens every time. You know how every year the Angels sign Josh Hamilton. And we go, we're going to be good. We signed Josh Hamilton. And then maybe he's good, but it doesn't matter because everyone else sucks.
Yeah, everyone shuts off.
Oh, my God. I kind of wait to that, but we have the regular season success at least.
Someone
every year we'll be in the playoffs.
Jeff Passan tweeted an update on the Dodgers' loss. And I have notifications on.
How does this affect LeBron's legacy?
And the first comment under Dodgers lose to the Padres was the Padres were logo, but the A was an Angels logo.
Wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
So I immediately responded, "What does this mean?" And
wait, what was the tweet?
the tweet, just go to my account. You follow me, yeah?
What is it called?
@_Jackaboy. That's the weekly plug on the podcast.
Phillies own the Angels. Okay.
Yeah, that's my Phillies owe the Angels, not own.
That's what I said.
Oh yeah, oh. I heard own, but whatever.
And if you go under tweets and replies, it's
wait.
It's the second thing.
Yeah, we'll be able to cover the Yankees game.
We should be.
Because it starts at 1 here. That's like 5 hours.
Yeah, we're fine.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I was like. I said, what does this mean? And apparently, this guy is just sad that the Angels are out of it, so he's rooting for the Padres.
Oh.
And then someone said, change your username, we give you Mickey Moniak. Bro, Mickey Moniak is not equivalent to Noah Syndergaard and Brandon Marsh, okay? That's a scam. Anyway, goodbye, everybody. We made it an hour 31 minutes. That's impressive.
See you tomorrow.
Peace sign.
Yeah.
Put up a peace sign.
Sorry, you didn't say that.
Put up a number.